Hello students, कैसे हैं आप? Hope that you all are well and staying at home and doing your studies. Nowadays, we have to look into our economic status. You might be noticed on TV channels, newspapers, everywhere government is just working to generate more and more employment. You might be noticed during this COVID-19 period, a number of laborers, migrant laborers, has reached to their native villages, native places. That creates a new situation. A number of industries were facing crisis. They don't have the labor force. At the other side, in some places, there is more and more laborers are present. These laborers are more than enough. In that situation, there is a problem in front of the government from where they could give the employment. How these surplus labor that is present in a particular village or particular town, particular district or particular state to accommodate for the purpose of any economic activity. Why it is required? Economic activity is required to earn their livelihood. If people facing crisis to earn their livelihood, it becomes a very, very tough task to survive. So these all are related to economics. And what is economics? In simple words, economics is the science of the study of economic activities. Simple. So today we are going to start a chapter in economics for class 10. It is sectors of economy. What is the meaning of sectors? Just now I have stated about the migrant laborers. Have you ever thought what kind of work these laborers were performing and in what kind of work these laborers are skilled? Everyone cannot perform each and every work. Everyone having its own skill and caliber to perform a specific kind of work. For example, some are engaged in agriculture, some are engaged in industries, in manufacturing, some are engaged in transportation, some are engaged in providing their services that increase the production, that help the people, those who are working in farms, those who are working in industries. Take one example. An engineer is just developing new machines. These machines are helping in industries also to increase their production, to increase the efficiency. At the same time, these industries are also very much important to increase the production in agriculture. The person, that engineer himself, is not engaged either in manufacturing any goods or working in a field, but he is just developing some techniques, new machines that help them to increase their efficiency. One more example is there. Suppose farm products is there. Now there is a question to take that farm products to take it to the factory. So for that also there is a need to transport those productions for what? To reach to its destination, to the factories where it could be processed. This is the scenario. And this way, people engage in different economic activities, means to earn their livelihood. Different people engage in different kind of economic activities. In economics, these different kinds of economic activities have been classified into three groups in three different specific divisions are. These divisions, these classification of economic activities having then some common characteristics, and on the basis of those characteristics, these economic activities have been divided into three parts, and these are called primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about these kind of group of economic activities that usually people perform to earn their means of living. And this chapter is very much important, not only to understand the economic condition of the country, as well as it is also important to know about the social and other aspects of common people, means their life, how their lives affected through these kind of economic activities. Different economic activities needs different kinds of conditions. One more thing, what we have to learn also in this chapter, we will also learn about whether these three classification of economic activities, namely the primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector, are independent or are they interdependent, means कि क्या ये independently काम करती है, क्या ये independently काम करती है, क्या ये independently काम करती है, या तीनों एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करते हुए सप्लीमेंट्री और कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री का रिलेशनशिप देते हुए ये होता है. So this chapter is very interesting. It is related to our day-to-day life. We might notice about these economic concepts related to our life, but directly or indirectly, these all are related to these economic activities and these aspects of economics. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about this. So next topic that we are going to learn, it is about the classification of economic activities on the basis of common characteristics. So one by one we will discuss about these activities. The first we are going to discuss about the primary sector. What is the primary sector? What are the economic activities that come under the primary sector? Importance of primary sector? How primary sector is helping other sectors? So next topic, primary sector. Now see, first classification. First classification on the basis of nature of activity. On the basis of nature of activity, economic activities can be classified into three: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Primary means in Hindi it is called प्राथमिक क्षेत्र, द्वितीयक क्षेत्र और तृतीयक क्षेत्र. What are these different sectors? How we can understand that which kind of activities lies in primary sector, which are secondary sector, which are tertiary sector? So as I have written, primary sector includes all those economic activities that are using natural resources. For example, farming, beekeeping, animal husbandry, poultry farming, just maintaining hatcheries. These all are the part of primary sector, because in this particular activities we are directly obtaining products from nature, and these products are completely depends upon the natural forces, rainfall, climatic conditions, wind. So these economic activities that are directly related to nature classified under primary sector. One more thing, mining is also regarded as a primary activity, because mining is also directly related to the nature. For digging earth, we are just extracting minerals. So mining is primary activity. It should be clear. Such kind of question can be asked for 1 mark in your objective type questions in your examination. In UPSC also, such kind of questions have been asked. One more thing. Over here, full confusion is there. People say, sir, how mining can be called a primary activity? Actually, when we are talking about mining, we are talking about just obtaining minerals from earth, from nature. I am not talking about refining and obtaining metals. When we discuss about if from iron ore steel has been manufactured, then it is not regarded as a primary activity. Farmers growing wheat, that is primary activity. But when the wheat has been transformed into wheat flour, that is not a primary activity. That goes into another kind of activity. So it should be very much clear. So primary activity is also called agriculture and related activities, because all these activities are related to agriculture. Next one, due to the dominance of this agricultural activity, this is also called agricultural sector. One more important factor that you have to remember, primary sector in all the economies in its initial stages, primary sector dominates in its initial stages. But as time passes, economy develops, the domination of primary sector decreases. Initial phase increases, but as time passes, the dominance of primary sector decreases. Dominance means what? Means more and more people engage in primary sector, and primary sector is contributing maximum in national income, in GDP. But as time passes, as economy grew, the domination of primary sector just reduces. Secondary sector. So primary sector has produced the products. Now that products come to the secondary sector. Why? Now secondary sector includes manufacturing activities. Means these products, natural products that have been obtained from nature, now is going to be transformed, that become more useful for us. Means manufacturing sector adds utility to the products obtained from primary sector. I have just stated, from mining we obtain iron ore, but from ore metal will be extracted, metal will be made in manufacturing sector. And it is also called industrial sector or manufacturing sector. So over here, industrial sector is also called industrial sector. Over here, industrial sector includes large industries also, small scale industries also, even cotton industries also. Cotton industry means when people using simple machine and with the help of their family members, if they are producing something, this is called cotton industries. So all such activities comes under secondary sector. So one more thing, remember, you have to remember that secondary sector adds utility, and due to that adding utility, now the cost of production will increase. Means the price of wheat is different, but price of wheat flour become different, because now wheat flour is transformed from wheat. So now utility has been increased and has been increasing secondary sector. So the products come from secondary sector is costlier than the raw materials. Raw materials means obtaining from primary sector. Next one is tertiary sector. As I have written over here, if from primary sector the products reach to the secondary sector, who will carry it? By means of transportation. This transportation is directly not involved either in growing raw materials or adding value, but it connects both the sector. It connects the activities, it increases the efficiency of these activities. So all those activities that production. In primary and secondary sector, those are called tertiary sector. It is also called service sector because people engaged over here, they are not directly involved either in primary activity or secondary activities, but they are providing their services, their skill, their information, their knowledge that increase the efficiency of primary and secondary sector. I have just given the example of an engineer developing machine, developing technologies that are helpful in primary and secondary sector. Transportation, carrying goods from one place to another place, from farms to the factories, from factories to market. So if there is no as such relationship, as such activities, no sector of economy can develop. So by this particular description we can understand that primary, secondary and tertiary sector all are interrelated. किसान अनाज पैदा करेगा और खेतों में रह जाए तो किसान की उस अनाज का क्या मतलब? कोई मोल नहीं मिलेगा। जब तक उस अनाज की महत्ता नहीं बढ़ेगी, यूटिलिटी नहीं बढ़ेगी, उसको उसकी कीमत नहीं मिलेगी। तो यहाँ से वो फैक्ट्री तक जाएगा तो मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के द्वारा। अब उसकी फैक्ट्री और उसको प्रोडक्शन करने में अगर प्रॉब्लम है तो खेतों को जोतने के लिए उसे ट्रैक्टर चाहिए, ट्रैक्टर को बनाएंगे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर बनाएंगे, यानी सेकेंडरी सेक्टर, इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर फैक्टर में। अब चलाएगा कौन? तो वहां एक बंदा है जो चलाएगा। ये कौन है? यही है सर्विस प्रोवाइडर। अब किसान को कर्ज चाहिए, वो बैंक जाता है, बैंक से लोन लेता है, तो बैंक डायरेक्टली खेती नहीं कर रही है बट सपोर्ट्स द एक्टिविटी। तो वो कौन हो गया? सेकेंडरी सेक्टर या प्राइमरी सेक्टर में आ गया। तो सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स, even your teachers are service providers, the doctors, engineers, professionals, all are the service providers. They all come into the category of tertiary sector. So next, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn about the independency of these three sectors of economy. One more thing, this is the one kind of classification. We will also classify the economic activity on the basis of ownership, and we are also going to classify the economic activities or sectors of economy on the basis of their performance, means organized or unorganized, means on the basis of their organization. So next we are going to discuss about interdependency of these three sectors. Next, very important topic, interdependency of all these three sectors of economy, primary, secondary and tertiary sector. कैसे ये तीनों इंटरडिपेंडेंट है, इंटरलिंक्ड है? We are not performing any economic activity independently. Behind our all economic activities, there is a presence of another economic activity directly or indirectly. Take one example. I am teaching you means I am rendering my services, I am rendering my skill for promoting your mental level. I am imparting information and knowledge, but I am taking help of a number of equipments so that I could reach to you. For example, this blackboard, sorry, this is whiteboard, this marker, I have not made it. These are manufactured in factories. So I am getting help with the another sector. Right now, this lecture is going to be just captured through cameras. Have a great camera? No. It has been manufactured in factories. I'm having the energy to work. From where I am getting that energy? For that I am getting food. And from where I am getting food? From agriculture. So ultimately, our all economic activities are supported by other economic sectors too. No economic activity is independent in terms of its classification on the basis of nature. means all economic activities, the three, primary, secondary, tertiary, are interlinked and interdependent. That is the key to understand the importance. And since these all are interrelated or interdependent, means if any sector of economy lags behind, it ultimately pulls other sectors of economy too, and that hampers overall economic development, overall economic growth. Contrary, if any sector of economy increases, performs well, automatically it also takes other sectors of economy at the upper side, means the other sector of economy also develop. For example, if farmers get good income by selling their products in factories, so with the help of those income, now farmers could consume more, means they demand more facilities. They could invest more in education, in health sector also. So it creates the demand of the school colleges. So more and more personnel are required in those areas. More schools means more teachers, more staffs. So it increases the opportunities in service sector. If they consume more, means income will increase, the farmers needs. Now farmers also think that I must have the LED TV, refrigerator, fridge, air conditioners, air coolers, and other equipments over and all. So now farmers could have that much of income to bear such kind of goods. So it raises the demand in industries also. So ultimately what we are thinking, that these all sectors of economy are interlinked and interdependent. This is the key. यदि एक सेक्टर भी आगे बढ़ेगी तो दोनों को भी पुश करेगी. हमारे यहाँ कहा जाता है कि अगर हिंदुस्तान में मानसून अच्छी हुई तो इट बूस्ट द इकोनॉमी. अब देखिए मानसून अच्छी हुई यानी कि बारिश अच्छी होगी तो इकोनॉमी में बूस्ट आ जाएगी, इकोनॉमी बढ़ जाएगी. ये कैसे? बारिश का इकोनॉमी से क्या रिश्ता है? India is an agricultural economy, means still a vast population, a major population of India is getting their means of livelihood from agriculture. Good rainfall means good harvest. Good harvest means good income. Good income means good saving. Good saving means good consumption. Increase in consumption lead to increase in demand. Increasing demand leads to more factories, establishment of more factories. More factories means more people get employed, more services will be generated, more means of transportation will be required. So ultimately, service sector will improve. Means more and more services are required, economic activities are required. So see, rainfall was good, agriculture was good, and due to that, the all other sectors of economy also get its benefit. तो इससे भी स्पष्ट है कि कैसे के तीनों हमारी जो सेक्टर्स है, प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी और टर्शियरी सेक्टर, ये इंटरलिंक्ड और इंटरडिपेंडेंट. एक एग्जांपल मैंने बताया है, गौर कीजिएगा. एक किसान है जिसका नाम हरी है. तो किसान है तो ये किसमें है? ये एक फार्मर है. तो ये किसमें हुआ? प्राइमरी सेक्टर में. ये अपनी क्रॉप को बनाता है और क्रॉप को सेल करता है फैक्ट्रीज में. सपोज कीजिए कि ये शुगर केन को इसने पैदा किया, यानी कि खेती की शुगर थी, और वो उसको बेचने कहाँ जाएगा? शुगर फैक्ट्री में. अब ये शुगर फैक्ट्री में लेके पहुंचा, तो लेके कैसे आएगा? सर्वे. For that, the person requires some means of transportation. तो वो ट्रैक्टर लेगा, ट्रक लेगा, उसपे उसको शुगर केन को रख करके वो फैक्ट्री में वो बेचता है. प्राइमरी सेक्टर ने अपना प्रोडक्ट सेकेंडरी को दिया, यानी प्राइमरी की जो प्रोडक्ट है, आउटपुट है, वो सेकेंडरी के लिए इनपुट हो गई। यानी प्राइमरी ने जो मटेरियल इसको दिया वो सेकेंडरी सेक्टर के लिए रॉ मटेरियल है। अब ये केक, शुगर केक का इस्तेमाल करके क्या बनाएंगे? ये शुगर बनाएंगे। शुगर इनका प्रोडक्ट है। अब देखिए शुगर जो है वो किसान भी खाएगा, मतलब दूसरे लोग भी खाएंगे, ये मार्केट से खरीदेगा, फिर आ जाए मार्केट। तो ये शुगर के यहाँ से सब शुगर बनेगी, ये फिर जाएगी कहाँ? मार्केट में। यानी मार्केट में फिर से मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चाहिए। दूसरी बात, इस किसान को खेती करने के लिए इक्विपमेंट चाहिए, पेस्टिसाइड चाहिए, इंसेक्टिसाइड चाहिए, फर्टिलाइजर्स चाहिए। कहां से आएगा? तो वो कौन देंगे? फैक्ट्री में। फैक्ट्री यानी कि सेकेंडरी सेक्टर। तो सेकेंडरी सेक्टर का आउटपुट प्राइमरी सेक्टर के क्या हो गया? इनपुट वर्क हो जाएगा। इसका जो आउटपुट है, प्राइमरी सेक्टर का जो आउटपुट है, प्रोडक्शन मेड इन प्राइमरी सेक्टर बिकम द रॉ मटेरियल फॉर सेकेंडरी सेक्टर। शुगर की इसका प्रोडक्शन है, जिसके लिए रॉ मटेरियल हो गई, उससे शुगर बनेगी। और शुगर का कंजम्पशन कौन करेगी? फिर से प्राइमरी सेक्टर में वो आकर के लोग खाएंगे। क्यों? प्राइमरी सेक्टर नहीं, बाकी सेक्टर में खाएंगे। एक एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं कि कैसे रिलेटेड। इसके साथ साथ जो आपको इक्विपमेंट चाहिए वो नहीं बना के। अब फिर से वही बात है, इसने बनाया हमने पहुंचाएगा तो मींस ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन। अब दूसरी बात है, मशीनें तो बनती है, मशीन खराब हो गई, उसको ठीक करना पड़ेगा। Your mobile phone just not working properly, your TV is not properly well, your bike is not working well. From where you used to go? To mechanics for repairing the bike. तो respective persons को आप ढूंढते हैं जो उसका स्किल है, जो जानकार है, जो उसको ठीक कर सकता है, ये सब सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करते हैं। तो ये सर्विस कौन देगी? वो देगी टर्शियरी सेक्टर। यहाँ मैंने ट्रांसपोर्टेशन उठा दिया है, टर्शियरी सेक्टर सर्विस देगी। एक किसान की अच्छी आमदनी हुई, वो किसान क्या चाहेगा कि मेरे बच्चे अच्छे स्कूल में पढ़े, तो बड़े स्कूलों में डिमांड करेगा, नए स्कूल खुलेंगे, बच्चों की संख्या आएगी, टीचर्स आएंगे। टीचर्स भी क्या है? They are not directly involved in production, but they are helping out to improve the quality of production. Means अगर एक किसान, उसका परिवार पढ़ा लिखा होगा, उसकी किस्मत अच्छी होगी, तो वो और बेहतर काम कर सकता है। एक डॉक्टर कैसे किसान के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है? किसान अगर बीमार है तो वो अपनी पूरी मेहनत खेतों में नहीं कर पाएगा, उसकी खेती खराब होगी, प्रोडक्शन डाउन हो जाएगी, प्रोडक्शन घटेगी, तो सेकेंडरी सेक्टर को भी आउटपुट नहीं मिल पाएगा, यानी जो रॉ मटेरियल चाहिए वो नहीं मिलेगी, तो सेकेंडरी सेक्टर भी लैग हो जाएगी और अल्टीमेटली लेस अपॉर्चुनिटीज होगी टर्शियरी में भी, यानी लेस ट्रांसपोर्टेशन होगी। अभी देखिए लॉकडाउन में क्या हो गया कि दीज ऑल इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज वर रेस्ट्रिक्टेड। परिणाम फैक्ट्रीज बंद, मजदूरों को अपने अपने नेटिव प्लेस को भागने की मजबूर ना कर, क्योंकि आमदनी नहीं है। स्कूल कॉलेजेस बंद, वहां काम करने वाले लोगों के लिए भी मुसीबत, क्योंकि दे डोंट हैव दैट मच ऑफ फंडिंग, दे ऑल आर फेसिंग द एक्यूट इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम। सो एज द फार्मर्स, अब फार्मर्स को उस पे काम में मजदूर नहीं मिले, पंजाब हरियाणा के बड़े बड़े खेत खाली पड़े, पूरी की पूरी इंडियन इकोनॉमी, पूरी वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमी सब पे दबाव। क्यों? क्योंकि ये सारी इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी इंटर रिलेटेड है और इंटरडिपेंडेंट है। यहां से 3 मार्क्स पे और 5 मार्क्स पे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं कि हाउ डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स ऑफ इकोनॉमी आर इंटर रिलेटेड एंड इंटरडिपेंडेंट। या सिंपल ये पूछा जाएगा कि प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी एंड टर्शियरी सेक्टर्स आर इंटरलिंक्ड एंड इंटरडिपेंडेंट। एक्सप्लेन विद एग्जांपल। So there is no any kind of problem. I think you all are understood about the concept. So you have to write in freestyle manner according to your understanding. Now we will going to discuss about the importance of primary sector, then secondary and tertiary. We will discuss about their importance separately. Now students see importance of primary sector or agriculture sector. Very simple. The same thing you might be read in geography also about the importance of agriculture is the same thing. First is backbone of Indian economy. Why it is called backbone of Indian economy? Because more than 70% population depends upon agriculture, directly or indirectly. So it is the major means of livelihood. It is also the largest employment provider. most of the Indians are engaged in agriculture directly or indirectly. Over here, when I am talking about agriculture, I am talking about all those activities that are come under the agriculture, even mining, poultry farming, beekeeping. These all are the part of agriculture. In such a way, agriculture provides large employment options. Even today, most of the people engaged in agriculture sector, contrarily, the contribution of primary sector to the GDP, to the national income is decreasing, but still, as far as employment providing is concerned, still it is dominating. Next, supplying raw materials to secondary sector. The development of secondary sector depends upon the primary sector, as primary sector is supplying raw materials. I have just given the example of sugar mill. From where sugar mill gets sugar cane? Because sugar cane is the raw material. Without sugar cane cannot perform. So functioning of secondary sector very much depends upon the primary sector. One more thing is there. I might be tolerant of, right? Primary sector is also the largest consumer. Remember, largest consumer is also. So it also creates demand in the market. Primary sector. Next, producing food crops to the population also earns foreign currency by exporting. A number of products that have been taken from primary sector have been just exporting, or through this we earn foreign currency also, much needed foreign currency. So this is all about the primary sector's importance. One thing we have to very much keep in the mind that primary sector gradually lost its importance in terms of contribution in the GDP. It doesn't mean that it is not very much important. It is important, it's still important, very important. So it is still in the backbone. But in terms of contribution to GDP, its contribution declined very significantly. मैंने क्या कहा था कि इनिशियल स्टेजेस में प्राइमरी सेक्टर डोमिनेट करती है, और जैसे जैसे समय इकोनॉमी डेवलप करेगी, ये प्राइमरी सेक्टर का रोल घटने लगेगा, सेकेंडरी और टर्शियरी डेवलप करेगी। और जब इकोनॉमी एक चरम पे पहुंचती है तो वहां आप देखेंगे कि टर्शियरी सेक्टर सबसे अधिक आगे वो डोमिनेट करेंगी इन टर्म्स ऑफ कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू जीडीपी। तो अब हम लोगों को यही पढ़ना है, सबसे अधिक हमें जोर देना है इस चैप्टर में रोल ऑफ टर्शियरी सेक्टर और कैसे उसकी रोल बदलती चलेगी। हाउ टर्शियरी सेक्टर बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर इंपॉर्टेंट एंड डोमिनेंट। तो अब हम लोग को पढ़ना है सेकेंडरी सेक्टर की इंपॉर्टेंस, कि सेकेंडरी सेक्टर का क्या रोल होता है हमारी इकोनॉमी में। Now see students, importance of secondary sector. Secondary sector means manufacturing, और इसको कहते हैं इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर। क्या होता है इसका? बहुत आसान, हमने कहा है सबसे पहले तो ये एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट करें। जब भी किसी भी सेक्टर का इंपॉर्टेंस पूछा जाए तो आप सबसे पहले एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन को जरूर दें। फिर जीडीपी के विषय में दिखाएंगे। तो एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर के बाद सेकेंड जो हम देख रहे हैं इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर को, ये कंट्रीब्यूट करती है मोर देन 20% टू द जीडीपी। जीडीपी मींस ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन। फुल फॉर्म याद रखिएगा, ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन। आई विल एक्सप्लेन हाउ इट विल बी कैलकुलेटेड लेटर ऑन। प्रोवाइडिंग वैरायटी ऑफ गुड्स, ये क्या करती है सेकेंडरी सेक्टर कि प्राइमरी सेक्टर से जो गुड्स इनको मिलती है उसमें यूटिलिटी ऐड करती है, यानी उसके गुण को, उसके रूप को, उसकी नेचर को बदल करके उसे और यूजफुल बनाती है और जिससे वो हमारे लिए उपयोगी हो जाए। तो ये प्रोवाइडिंग वैरायटी ऑफ गुड्स, जैसे स्टील है, प्लास्टिक है, जो भी चीजें। नेक्स्ट, कंज्यूमर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स, यानी प्राइमरी सेक्टर के जो प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं रॉ मटेरियल्स, वो सेकेंडरी सेक्टर इस्तेमाल करती है। इससे क्या होता है कि वो प्रमोट करती है केवल प्राइमरी सेक्टर को ही नहीं, टर्शियरी सेक्टर को हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है कि कैसे तीनों सेक्टर इंटरलिंक्ड और इंटरडिपेंडेंट होती है। तो एक सेक्टर भी डेवलप करेगी तो दूसरे को भी वो अपने साथ आगे बढ़ाएगी। नेक्स्ट वन है अर्न्स फॉरेन करेंसी। आप जब एक्सपोर्ट करते हो तो आप क्या करते हो, बड़ी मात्रा में फॉरेन करेंसी कमाते हो, यानी कि आपको विदेशी मुद्रा चाहिए, फॉरेन करेंसी चाहिए, जो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट के लिए बहुत बहुत जरूरी है। बच्चों इन दोनों के साथ अब हमें पढ़ना है इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ ट्रेजरी सेक्टर, परंतु उसके पहले हम कुछ चीजों को पढ़ेंगे कि ट्रेजरी सेक्टर लगातार इतना इंपॉर्टेंट कैसे बनता है। मीन्स हम लोग ये देखेंगे कि चेकिंग ट्रेड, जैसे मैंने कहा इनिशियल फेज में प्राइमरी सेक्टर डोमिनेट करती है, फिर एक फेज आता है जब सेकेंडरी डोमिनेट करती है, और उसके बाद जो लास्ट फेज है वहां पे ट्रेजरी सेक्टर डोमिनेट करने लगती है। डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमी की ये फीचर है जहां पे ट्रेजरी सेक्टर डोमिनेट करती है। तो किन परिस्थितियों में ये परिस्थितियां बन गई कि आज हिंदुस्तान में भी ट्रेजरी सेक्टर अब जीडीपी में सबसे अधिक कंट्रीब्यूशन देती है। तो चेकिंग ट्रेड्स हम लोग पढ़ेंगे, फिर हम लोग ये भी पढ़ेंगे कि इन तीनों सेक्टर को हम कंपेयर कर सकते हैं। यू मे बी आस्क्ड, सर हाउ we can compare these three sectors, as these three sectors are providing different kind of products. Agriculture sector agricultural products प्रदान करती है, इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर प्रदान करती है इंडस्ट्रियल गुड्स, और सर्विस सेक्टर सर्विस रेंडर करती है। तो तीनों को कंपेयर कैसे करें? Actually, we convert the output of these three sectors into its monetary value, यानी हम इसके जो आउटपुट्स हैं उसको हम बदलेंगे, उसको हम ट्रांसफर करेंगे उसके मॉनेटरी वैल्यू, यानी कि पैसे के संदर्भ में उसकी कितनी कीमत है, कुल कितनी कीमत कि उसने सर्विस प्रोवाइड की, कुल कितनी कीमत की उसने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की गुड्स की, कुल कितनी कीमत की उसने गुड्स को पैदा किया, यानी कि एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में प्राइमरी सेक्टर में कितने गुड्स उस प्रकार से कितने वैल्यू गुड्स पैदा किए। तो हम वैल्यूज को लेकर के तीनों के मॉनेटरी वैल्यूज को लेकर के कंपेयर करेंगे, तब देखेंगे कैसे समय के साथ चीजें बदलती हैं। तो नेक्स्ट हम लोग इसी चीज को पढ़ेंगे कि हाउ सेकेंडरी सेक्टर प्राइमरी सेक्टर इज लैग बिहाइंड टुडे एंड ट्रेजरी सेक्टर स्टार्टेड डोमिनेटिंग।